games, I always say. Well, I'm the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm Master Plo Koon on the Clone Wars. But did you know I'm the voice of the leader on Hulk and the Agents of Smash? Mwahaha! And of course, I'm Boppy on Doc McStuffins. Yeah, but too, Fred Flintstone too.
And Johnny Test is awesome.
The voice of animation domination on Pops. I'd even be the skull right here at Disney's Hollywood Studios, the legend of Jack Sparrow. That's Captain Jack Sparrow who I play in video games. That's right. Ooh, and yeah, speaking of video games, I'm Ratchet from Ratchet & Clank, Tidus from Final Fantasy X, Lego Spider-Man, the Silver Surfer. I'm Professor Charles Xavier.
I'm even the voice of all the villains.
Now, sometimes celebrities can't do their own voices, so I fill in for them, like, oh, wait a second, Michael J. Fox and Stuart Little, and, of course, Milo Thatch in Disney's Atlantis and Lost Empire. I'm Jay Baruchel and Christopher Mintz-Plasse for Fish Lakes and Hiccup and How to Train Your Dragon. But I'm also Andre the Giant for the Princess Bride game. I've been Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, and it's crazy to believe I didn't bet Christopher Walken, when he can't. It's crazy. I'm the voice that tells you what's now available on DVD and Blu-ray to use only as directed. So buckle up and drive safely. Offer expires November 30th. See store for details. Batteries not included. 777 target with the IC. Don't miss it! Action superstar, a champion martial artist, and he's also known for bringing to life one of the most, just greatest, kind of loved dark villains in Star Wars. Take a look at the screens. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Park! Have a seat. Welcome back. Hey, welcome back to Star Wars Weekends. We were talking this morning. This is like 6, 7, 8 times. I mean, maybe 8 times that you've been here at Star Wars Weekends.
I like this.
You like this? This is the desk, yeah? So we make it a little more official here. Yeah. It's like a talk show. I've got my little microphone, and I've got a little PT Flea right there.
You're now one of James on.
We'll probably get to that later, right? So, we have always had fun. You and I have always had a good time here. In fact, last year, I don't know if you remember, we did some phony photo moments. And you remember we had Ward Davis here, and we had Jeremy Bullock. There's you with Jeremy. Having a nice, I was just kind of, that was, I don't even want to know what was going on there. And then we have the one where Ward was, look at that, that's pretty good. We're doing a little Vadering. So we always have a good time, and we're going to have a great time later today at 5:15, because you know what's happening at 5:15, don't you?
That's right.
I hope you do, because it's your show, Visit to the Mall. Anybody going to come see Visit to the Mall? Oh, you got to see it. In fact, there will be some folks that may even come up and help us out here on stage.
So lucky enough you get
a fantastic show, a great time. And it's such a great career that you have because you play these really interesting characters, some really dark characters and some really cool characters that aren't as dark but always action-packed. I mean, we've got Toad from the X-Men, right? Good-looking fella. Yeah.
Nice teeth back.
Nice teeth. Yeah. And Heroes. I loved in Heroes. That was a great one there. Yeah.
I got to grow a beard for the first time because
oh, really?
It took me a while to grow facial hair as a guy. And,
tough guy like you? Come on.
It's just weird. I was still a baby, and it was really nice to grow a little beard and have a mole.
And you didn't have to shave everything off, which is nice. And then the Headless Horseman, you had to shave a really tight shave of the Headless Horseman. That was crazy. It was crazy because you were Christopher Walken's double in that.
And I've doubled him as a voice, so we're like one Christopher Walken right here.
Snake Eyes, though, I think one of my favorites. Huh? You guys love Snake Eyes? And you have a new film that is out, just came out, Jinn.
Jinn.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about Jinn?
Yeah, Jinn is really like the boogeyman or the mystical creature or genie. And there's good Jinn and bad Jinn. And I can't tell you which one I played, but it was a great movie to sort of work on, and it's like a supernatural thriller.
Yeah.
There's a cool car in it.
Look at that. You're very mysterious.
That's very evilly, maddy, crazy there.
Okay, excellent. Yes, but so we can look for that, and that'll be a lot of fun. But back to the world of Star Wars, because that's really why we're all here, isn't it? We love Star Wars. And even more importantly, we love Darth Maul, right? That's what I want to know, Ray. How is it that we kind of, we love this character? He's really this beloved villain. And, I give you a lot of credit for that. Why do you think that is, though?
It took me, for many years now, I still, like, why is it with the... I used to think that was because of me, But it was like, I think really, when I was a kid, I never ever rooted for the bad guy.
Really?
I was always a good guy. It was always, whenever I watched any action movies, it was always the good guy. And Vader was the first guy to scare me in a movie as a kid. And I think with Darth Maul, it's because the way he looks, he's mysterious, and the double-bladed lightsaber, and the action.
I think his moves had something to do with it, though, too, right? The moves of Darth Maul. Yeah, that was really fantastic. And I want to take you back away here, Ray. And we got to take a look at the screens here. We're going to see you getting into character. Look at the screens here.
I said I wanted a faster version of what the other movies were, more energetic version. And that's basically what he gave me. And I think the key to it was that we had a good villain who was a great fighter.
I always wanted to fly when I was a kid. I wanted to be like the guys in the movies, and that's how I started my martial arts.
I found Darth Maul, and he's being played by a guy called Ray Park, and he's very good in like kendo and martial arts, and he's a brilliant gymnast. I mean, he's better than I am.
We actually cast a villain who was a sword fighter. When you have one of the characters who actually knows what he's doing and is really an expert at it, it definitely ups the ante for all the other actors to do their thing as well as they can, and I think it makes a big difference on the screen.
We could see immediately he had the look, he had all the physical skill, he was incredibly disciplined, and the amount of work that this guy did was phenomenal. I mean, he put everything. He spent 20 hours at the studio every day. The hatred that comes out of his eyes, there's no question that he is the serious bad guy. The makeup, which was beautifully done, instantly shows you someone who is a real menace, evil incarnate.
The look of Darth Maul, the Sith Lord, I think it's cool. I think the makeup and the horns and the lenses and the teeth, you just can't help being naughty, just help being that character. I think we all have a bit of a dark side in us, and so I just try and bring that out in myself when I play a character.
Fantastic stuff. Is it weird to look back at some of that?
Yeah, it's like weird to look back at me like
Well, I'm always asking you questions here, but I thought it'd be fun if we got some questions from some folks. Now, I've been online asking people to ask us questions, so let's do some questions from the council there. What do you think, guys?
And now, questions from the council.
Now, any of you on Twitter and Instagram and all that, the Facebook and all the crazy, are you on those crazy social media? Okay. Well, okay, so if you hashtag ask, S-O-T-S, Stars of the Saga, you can ask a question maybe for tomorrow's show with Ray Park or with John Ratzenberger. But I've got some questions for you right now. You mind answering a couple of these? Okay, so we've got one here that is, see, I like this question. It is, did Darth Maul know how to use the Force lightning?
That's a good question.
Yeah, or was he just so cool that,
growing up watching Vader, he had that famous choke, he could do anything, and that was one superpower that I wanted to have as a kid. And so when we were filming, a lot of it was all action, and I got to jump around and do lightsaber stuff. So I asked George, when am I going to get to use the Force? I want to use the Force, I want to be like Vader.
Yeah.
So I remember George saying to me, and it was in the aircraft hangar scene where I get to sort of use a point my fingers at Disney point, two fingers, and pointed towards the door.
I think
it's my best moment.
I think we have that. Do we have that scene? I think we might have that scene. Just for like a real quick shot of there. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you did it very, I mean, like a Jedi might be kind of like, you were like, no, over there.
Yeah, I was like, there. I thought of my dad, you know, when he was telling me, go to your room.
That's great. Okay, can we do another question? You want? Okay, we got another. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, this is interesting. What styles of martial arts is what they're asking? Do you use the most, and is there any that you'd like to use? So what would be like the most used style for you? Because you are a master of many different martial arts, but...
I think what really comes out in my play whenever I'm doing stuff is I used to love pretending to think I could break dance and body pop when I was younger.
Okay.
But my Chinese martial arts and wushu. So I think a lot of the wushu comes out in everything I do in movies.
So you kind of blend it in. And Darth Maul has a lot of wushu in him.
Yeah, a lot of wushu, a lot of finesse, a lot of showing off.
Is it a lot of, could you teach me a little something here?
Yeah.
Well, we did. Sure.
Yeah, let me show you how it's done there, right?
You're gonna puff out your chest a little bit.
Okay, puff out my chest.
Yes, all right. Okay.
Yeah, so now you got it. Okay, like you just got off a horse.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bring your hands up like this.
Hands up.
Okay. And it's all in the chest and the head.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like you step back, so as if you have the force. Being a Jedi, you should.
Yes, I understand the force. Yes.
Okay. So you have it here. Open up your hands.
Open up my hands.
And then at the last moment, you're going to snap it to the front. So you're going to look at your right hand and then go. There you go. Yeah, so,
see, I get all excited like this. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's great. But now on was it Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
You kind of created your own.
Yeah, because what it was, Mortal Kombat Annihilation was my first movie job.
Anybody see Mortal Kombat? That was pretty cool. Yes.
Whereas where I just showed you here in wushu, I would have gone like this and done that.
Yeah, that's neat.
So I sort of tried to break the rules a little bit, and I was sort of faking the wrong way. I can't believe I'm on this movie. I'm doing this. So I just sort of came up with the Elvis Bruce Lee, you know. Like that. And,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's
and he always Bruce Lee.
And the stunt coordinator says, "Okay, Ray, I want you to teach the Ray." And I said, "What's the Ray?" He goes, "The Ray, the thing you do with the head." So I had to.
So it became its own thing. The Ray.
The Ray.
Excellent. You know, this feels kind of like a little something that we've created as I think you might enjoy. I think it's time for a Darth Maul face-off. Yeah.
It's time for a Darth Maul face-off. Face-off.
Yeah. Now, I had some fun going out into the park and seeing who would do their best Darth Maul and see if maybe, you know, kind of compete with you and your Darth Maul. So let's throw it to James out there, our outside correspondent.
Thanks, James. Okay, we are out here for a Darth Maul face-off. Let's see if some of these younglings can beat Ray Park in a face-to-face duel. Okay, I'm here with...
Spencer.
And?
Noah.
Spencer and Noah, give us your best Darth Maul face.
To Ray Park.
To a duel.
To a duel.
A Darth Maul face-off.
A Darth Maul face-off.
Wow, I'm actually kind of scared. Let's harness the Force and give your best Darth Maul face. That's a good one. All right, Ray, I'm here with... Casey. And Casey is going to give his best Darth Maul face. You ready? You summon the Force. I think you can beat Ray Park in this. Ready? All right. Give him your best face. Excellent. Oh, yes. Ray Park is no match for Casey. Pretty good. Well, the Force is certainly strong out here, leaning towards the dark side with these younglings, but I think that wraps it up for now.
Oh, hey, James, you were fantastic. I really enjoyed watching
Thanks.
you.
You're not so bad yourself, James.
Oh, come on. All right. Okay, see you later. All right, okay. Hey, pretty good stuff. Does anybody here think they might have the power to face Darth Maul right here, right now? Is there anyone? If I were to grab one person who could really harness the dark side of the Force and be a match for anyone? Yes, you, come on up, right there with the Stormtrooper shirt. That, I have a bad feeling about that right there, yes. Come on up, let's give him a round of applause as he makes his way up for a Darth Maul face-off. Come on up these stairs here.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Are you ready? You think you can handle this, right? So we'll see who, and I'll put my hand over each one of them. You vote to see who's got the best. What's your name? Jake? Nice to meet you, Jake. Okay. Now this is Ray Park, Darth Maul. All right.
I want you to summon the Force, strong as you can, and you give them the best evil.
Oh, I don't want to season it myself, but you go ahead. You got it? You ready? You good? Okay, here we go. And then Ray, you see if you can beat this.
Okay.
All right. Anytime, when you face the audience here and show them your best Darth Maul face. Oh, he's doing the stare down. It's harder to do with that guy right there, isn't it?
Ready, do it again.
Okay.
You know what? That face you did, the face you just did there, as you, is a good Darth Maul face.
Okay, just face to face then. You guys go face to face. Look at each other and then give it a big stare.
Give me a ready?
All right, ready? He looks very scared. Nose smells. Okay, right there. Okay, bring it in. All right, and oh, we got him. I think Ray Park's the winner. What do you guys think? Yes? Jake, good job, man. Thank you so much. Ooh, the Force is strong with you. Okay, so we're going to do this throughout the week, and we'll see, because you're with us for 2 weeks.
So I have to practice.
You have to practice and see if you can go every time, win every single time.
So do you actually want me to do the whole...
Oh, you got to get into it next time. Yeah, okay. Okay.
So like the one eyebrow up sort of look?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I've got, let's see. This is my favorite thing to do. Look at that. So,
you know
what? And then there's a little Darth Maul there. It fell apart, right?
You know, I'm getting a bit tired of this whole slice and half.
Oh, how are you doing, Dolph? Yeah, oh, no, I'm so sorry about that.
You know the ending of The Phantom Menace, it's not really the ending it should be, you know?
That's not the ending?
No, really. I brought a clip with me, and this is what I think the ending should be. Hey guys, can you roll this clip for me, please? I want to see this. Thank you, guys.
Roll that again. Wait a second. Just that last part. I want to see that. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Park! Let's go to the selfie real quick. Now, come on, all right?
It's a Star Wars.
Look at that, Ray. Come on. Let's do a selfie. Ladies and gentlemen, John Ratzenberger! You like those toys? Oh, yeah, sure. Those are little plushies. You know something about these. John, thank you so much for being here with us. This is just an honor to have you here at Star Wars Weekends.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we have wanted to have you here for so long.
It's the happiest place on earth.
It is the happiest place on earth. And you're quite familiar with Disney. You've done some work with Disney in the past, just a little bit of work.
Poquito. Yeah, for the last 19 years I've been working with Pixar.
Now, does everybody know that John is in every single Pixar film?
People ask, how did that happen? How do you work in every single Pixar movie? And I always say, I think it's a clerical error. I don't think they realize it, so don't anyone say it.
They go, yeah, John would be good. Let's get John in this one. He hasn't been in anything in there yet. So now, did you know John Lasseter beforehand, or how did that all come about?
No, we met at the first recording.
Really?
19 years ago. There they are.
Doing this guy right here.
Yeah, David the Pig.
Yeah. He's a cute little pig.
Turn around. I'm trying to get my cork back in. What's one of the others?
P.T.
Yeah, where you go, I know.
Now, I mean, there's so many characters. So P.T. Flea, who I love. P.T. Flea is a great
Flaming Death!
Flaming Death. And the Abominable Snowman.
Welcome to the Himalayas!
And I thought one of the most really creative ways of using your voice in Finding Nemo, the fish school. You were in an entire school of fish.
Yes, giving directions and advice.
And the Underminer in The Incredibles, Mac. Now, Mac was named after the type of truck that your father drove?
Correct. Yeah, it was a different type of truck. And then John Lasseter asked what type of truck my father drove, because we'd known each other long enough to get to each other's childhood lives. And I said it was a Mac, and so he had to change to a Mac truck.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's fun. And was that a fun one to do? That was a fun one to do. You did both of those films.
Yeah.
And so many other characters in these fantastic Pixar films, and the storylines. I always hear you talk about. They're fantastic storylines to these films too. Is that why you also continue to love to do them?
Well, it's first of all, to be able to make a living at this profession. I mean, if they called for me to trim their hedges, I would go.
Yeah.
And, because it's like being a workman, a carpenter, or you've got a lot of tools in the bag. So when they say, come out, do a voiceover, or do a stage, or film, or TV. You should be ready to do all of those.
Yeah. Well, and you were, and in fact, you were a carpenter at one point, right?
I was.
Yes.
Collecting the brass ring.
Yeah.
I really had to pinch myself because at times I'd sit there and think, they're paying me to sit in a bar and crack jokes.
Well,
for 11 years.
11 years.
Imagine going through the newspaper, the want ads, saying wanted, somebody to sit in a bar for 11 years, crack jokes.
And the thing that I don't know if everybody knows about, you originally auditioned for Norm, but...
No, there wasn't a part of Norm, it was one of the people at the bar.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That part disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but you asked them, right? Didn't you ask them like...
Oh, I failed the audition, because I'm a horrible auditioner. And I was walking out the door, and I think my 8x10 was already in a wastebasket. And I just turned around and said, do you have a bar know-it-all? And there was Glenn Charles who said, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I said, well, the kind of guy who says, microphones were originally, considered icons of the Mayan temple. So I just made up things about whatever was in the room. Yeah. I think really what I was trying to do is get my dignity back. It's kind of like it was all in shatters on the carpet, so effectively that's what I was doing. And so to leave, but 2 days later they called, they wanted to try that character out.
So you really are responsible for Cliff Clavin.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think we are very grateful for that.
If you were traveling to or through Washington, D.C., Cliff's uniform is in the Smithsonian Postal Museum.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And something that I think is fantastic is your new show, American Made.
Yeah, well, we're hoping to get that back on the air because so many people have asked about it.
Yeah.
I used to do a show called Made in America for the Travel Channel. And I think people are just starting now to realize the importance of keeping things made here. Because that's why I always say, manufacturing is to America what spinach is to Popeye.
Yes.
And that's what holds us together.
We have a fantastic clip of it here. Let's take a look at the screens.
Hi, I'm John Ratzenberger, and I love making things. Working with my hands, creating something out of nothing. That's how we've always done it here in America. There are so many inspiring stories behind all the products that we use every day. This is what makes us the greatest country in the world. We make beer, we make bicycles, we make cars, we make trains, We make machines. We make the machines that make the machines. We make candy. When are you going to come out with a roast beef flavor? And that's why I've decided to make a new TV show called John Ratzenberger's American Made. Each week, I'll be taking you into the heart of those companies to meet the people behind them who every day roll up their sleeves and provide the backbone of this great land of ours. You know, it's amazing. Glass? It's made from sand. Oh, good choice. And outside of being rewarded with some excellent TV entertainment, you'll receive some great American rewards, experiences, and memorable memorabilia. Some really good stuff. I grew up around people who were always making things, you know, back when I was a kid, and so I think it's just a follow-on from that. Because I was always tinkering as a kid, pulling radios apart, old television sets. My mother wasn't really crazy about that, especially when she wanted to turn on the radio and there's nothing inside of it.
You could have just done all the voices for it, though.
What's that?
You could have done all the voices for it then instead.
Oh, sure, yeah, just get into the radio.
Hey, now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about this little movie called Empire Strikes Back.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you know you're in that.
Yes?
Yes, indeed. How did that come about?
Well, I was living in England. And,
Okay.
at the time, the dollar was very strong against all the other currencies in the world. And so they were making a lot of movies in Europe from American companies. And I happened to be living there. There was a handful of us, maybe about a dozen American guy actors. And so it looked like we were just about in every film. So I ended up doing Empire Strikes Back, Superman 1 and 2, Gandhi, Bridge Too Far, Yanks, and a bunch of others, but only because it coincided with, you know, the economic times. Sure. And I was about the right height and weight, and I looked good in the uniform.
Yes, indeed you
so
did.
I became America's leading uniformed actor, even right up to Cliff.
That's true, you're always in a uniform. I hadn't thought
right.
of that. But you know, now people always go, well, where were you in Empire Strikes Back? I think it's really pretty obvious. George made it pretty obvious. We have that clip there, right? Where's John? Take a look at this. Yeah, it's
All
easy.
troop carriers will assemble at the north entrance. The heavy transport ships will leave as soon as they're loaded. Only 2 fighter escorts per ship.
2 fighters against a Star Destroyer?
The ion cannon will fire several shots to make sure that any enemy ships will be out of your flight path. When you've gotten past the energy shield, proceed directly to the rendezvous point. Understood?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay, everybody to your stations, let's go! Sir, Commander Skywalker hasn't come in the south entrance. He might have forgotten to check in.
Not likely. Are the speeders ready?
Not yet. We're having some trouble adapting them to the code.
We'll have to go out on Tauntaun.
Sir, the temperature's dropping too rapidly.
That's right, my friend's out in.
Sir, all the patrols are in. Still no contact from Skywalker Solo.
Mistress Leia, R2 says he's been quite unable to pick up any signals, although he does admit that his own range is far too weak to abandon all hope.
Your Highness, there's nothing more we can do tonight. The shielders must be closed.
Oh, that's it? Yeah. Hey.
The shielders must be closed.
Yeah, sure. Hang on. Wait a second. Now, can we rewind that one just there for a second? I want to hear something there. That's interesting. If we take a look at that.
Your Highness, there's nothing more we can do tonight. The shielders must be closed.
The shielders must be closed.
It's that voice is it's very different. It's a different, big.
Yeah, I had some French pastries before that. French not so sensitive I am.
And it was a shorter scene, but you know that there's actually a longer version of it.
What's that?
There's a longer version of that scene. I don't know if you've seen it. Probably been a long time since you've seen it. But do we have that? Can we go ahead and roll that one? Let's take a look at that.
Sir, all the patrols are in. Still no.
Would you put a sock in it? Can't you see the princess is worried sick over there? Ah, gee, she heard us. You better go over there and talk to her before that droid fills her head full of nonsense statistics she doesn't want to hear. Hey, Your Highness. So it appears that Han and Luke are probably camping out tonight. Well, you know, while the evening low here in Hoth is about -60 Celsius, there are colder places on the planet where people survive. Where I hear the town of Edmonton gets a bit nippy at night. And there's even a little village in Russia called Mike Cone, where they have a record low of -90 Celsius. What's the body normally reaches hypothermia around 35 degrees, although there was a documented 13 degrees Celsius, so what do you got there going for you? You know, once Johnson here and I got stuck out in the cold and had to split open our tauntaun to sleep in for the night. I have to tell you, they smell bad enough on the outside, huh? But then, you know, the next day we had quite a little tauntaun feast. It kind of tastes like chicken. Dear.
Sorry, I had some fun. I had some fun there doing your voice, but I hope you don't mind. Did you get used to that? Everybody's always doing Cliff to you.
Oh, all the time.
All the time. Yeah. Well, it's.
I was in New York not too long ago, and a guy, we were running for a taxi cab together, and we kind of bumped into each other. He looked up and goes, "Oh my God, I was just imitating you in the computer room."
It's great fun. It's fun to do. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for John Ratzenberger. We've run out of time here, and though it is Star Wars Weekends, and I am the host of Star Wars Weekends, I don't have the power, the authority to really wrap the show up the way that it should be done here at Disney. So I thought, if we brought out somebody that actually could do that, there's really only one that is a combination of Star Wars and Disney. Yes, it's Nikki, of course, our guest here.
Great to see you, John. Welcome back, right?
Okay, Jedi Nikki, pretty good. Now, Jedi Nikki is in his Star Wars guts, so guys, I thought it only appropriate. Sorry, John, we didn't tell you about this, but we have to put on our Mickey guts now. You see, we close the show properly. Mickey, you're set. You've got a pair of ears. Okay. The way that works out. Okay, guys. Oh, that's a nice So, Jedi Nikki, would you mind helping us close the Stars of the Saga Talk Show?
Aw, it would be my pleasure.
Excellent. Okay, can we get a little music, maestro, please? Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. MIC.
See you real soon.
KY.
Why? Because we like you.
Everybody. MOUNC. Ladies and gentlemen, Jedi Nikki, Ray Park, and John Ratzenberger. Thank you so much for joining us, and may the force be with you.